What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. Fish tacos. There's many different types, many different ways to make them. But today, my friends, Baja fish tacos. It's a little on the spicy side, citrusy, and very refreshing. It's great on a hot summer's day, and it's also even great in the dead of winter. So, let's get started. Alright, friends, the first thing we're going to make is called Curtido. It's like a cabbage coleslaw thing that goes great on this fish taco. You want a container with a lid of some sort. And I recommend doing this the night before. The longer this sits, the more the flavors really get embedded into the cabbage. So if you have a big head of cabbage, you're only going to need about a third of that. I just went to the supermarket and I bought the smallest head that I can. Woo, that's a tough one. So I'm going to cut this in quarters. Then there's this really thick root, this stem that's in here. I'm going to cut that out. To the best of my ability. There she goes. And I'm going to do the same to this side too, friends. And now we're going to cut this up. We're going to want shaved cabbage. The smaller you can shave it, the better. Take all your shaved bits, put them in your bowl. Try and get your cabbage as thin as hair. Alright, now we're going to want a quarter of an onion. I like to dice mine up. You can cut yours however you would like. If you want a jalapeno, I highly recommend it. Now, if you want the flavor without the spice, you're going to want to de-seed and de-vein this. So all these seeds and all that white pith stuff, cut that out. That's where all the heat is at. Let's get some of our oregano. We only need half of a teaspoon. I have whole oregano here, so I'm just going to crumble this up. as I put it in the coleslaw or the Curtido or the Curtido. One teaspoon of salt. Next, we need half a cup of vinegar. White vinegar, my friends. Just half a cup. And now we need 3/4 a cup of water. And now shake. You can shake this up or you can toss it. Yeah, I think I'd rather shake it. Like I said, guys, I recommend doing this the night before or do it early in the morning when you first wake up. The longer this sits, the more flavor it's going to, the more flavor will absorb into the cabbage. So let's throw this in the fridge and let's make our sauce. All right, friends, next up is our Chipotle Crema. You're going to want to get some Chipotle peppers and Adobo sauce. I already opened up a can here, and that's what's in here. So it is a mayonnaise-based crema. So we need 1 cup of mayonnaise. And you're going to want to use a blender, a bullet, some sort of blending device. Oh, we need 2 cloves of garlic. You can cut them up small if you'd like, just to make it easier on the blender. That's up to you, but that's what I'm gonna do. Now we want 2 chipotle chilies. Make sure you guys check on these because some of them may have a stem on there still, and you're going to want to, of course, take off that stem. Now, same thing as our garlic. I'm just going to cut these up roughly just to make it easier on the blender. And now we need a tablespoon of that adobo sauce. That beautiful, sweet, smoky adobo sauce, friends. Let's add in a pinch of salt. And last but not least, the juice of 1 lime. And now we blend. All right, so this thing, we can take this off. Ooh, smells wonderful, friends. All right. Now, if you want, you can take a spatula and really get into the bottom to make sure that that mayonnaise gets mixed in. But this is our crema, my friends. Looks like that's about what we're going to get out, but let's taste it. Oh, ooh. It's got a little hint of spice. It's smoky. It's got a great citrus flavor. That is bangarang, my friends. So once you place it in a container, throw a lid on there, throw it in the fridge. All right, folks, let's get our batter ready. So we're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So get yourself a nice good-sized bowl. Let's measure out 1 cup. Now, add in as much black pepper as you would like. Next, 1 teaspoon of salt. One teaspoon of baking powder. This is going to help the batter puff up when it's fried. 1 teaspoon of chili powder. All right. Now let's give all that a nice good whisk just to incorporate all the ingredients. All right. Now, lastly, folks, we need beer. I have Blue Moon. You can choose whatever beer you want. If you want Coors Light, choose Coors Light. If you want Coors Original, if you want Corona, Pacifico, literally whatever beer that you want, choose what you like to drink. I'm going to let those suds kind of chill out. All right, let's top her off, friends. Now, if you guys don't like to drink, when you fry this up, all the alcohol in that beer will evaporate. You will not get drunk off of this. All right. And the beer is going to make the batter very fluffy. It'll be almost like a tempura. So let's take our 1 cup of beer. I'm going to start off with 1 cup of beer. I may need more. We will whisk this up until it's like pancake batter. All right. That's how we want it, friends. Nice and thick. This is going to really grab on to your fish. It'll be a nice, thick, crispy, yet light batter. All right, my friends. Now I got mahi, and I just want to cut these up to fit my taco. There we go. That right there. That should fit my taco. Now, you can use cod, you can use halibut, you can use catfish, whatever kind of fish you want, friends. And now this beautiful, thick beer batter that we have. Oh, friends. I tell you what. Throw in your fish sticks. Let these sit in here and soak a bit. And I haven't poured my oil in yet, friends. Nope. Alright, friends. I got my cast iron pot. Y'all can use whatever you want, but we're going to deep fry. And we're going to want 3 to 4 cups of oil. You want to use a neutral oil? I got my peanut oil. And with this recipe, I got my candy thermometer. Just so that way I know exactly what temperature I'm going to be at. All right, friends. It's time to deep fry, my friends. Yeah, mine kind of stuck together. They were touching when they're deep frying, but that's all right. Deep fry until golden brown. And of course, make sure y'all got your container. I have a tray with paper and paper towels. There she is, friends. There's one. Beautifully beer battered, my friends. Very much like a tempura. Alright, friends, the corn tortillas I'm using today. La Burrita. I've never had this brand before. But you know what? Let's try them out, huh? Now, corn tortillas, you have to warm up before you fold them up. And it does not take long to warm these guys up, folks. It does not take long. You just want them to be pliable. We're not cooking. We're warming. Alright, friends. We have made all of our ingredients. What I like to do is put a little bit of sauce on the bottom first. Now, you can make yours however you want. That's what's great about cooking. You can take somebody's idea and then make it your own. Alright, now let's get one of these little fat guys, huh? Oh, yeah. Right on that sauce. I'm going to add a little bit more sauce on top. Believe me, there's a lot of sauce. We'll do the same thing with this side too. And now, let's add our cabbage mix. All right, my friends, we have finished our fish tacos. Baja fish tacos. All right, let's see how she tastes though, huh? These things are massive. This is a flavor bomb. The fish is tender, crunchy, and you get this smokiness, a little bit of spice from the chipotle chilies. Mm. And that vinegar comes in at the end, mellows it out. Oh my goodness. This is a taco to eat after you die, friends. The corn tortilla is a great companion. It really helps bring everything together. Friends, if you like fish tacos, and those of you in San Diego, y'all know about Rubio's Baja Grill, stay away, friends. This blows Rubio's out of the water. Those of you guys at home, man, I promise you, make this, and this will be a flavor blast that you will never forget. I guarantee that.